How are you doing? My name is Lenore Goss-Matjie. I'm 44 years old and I'm an entrepreneur. I am a fashion stylist and image consultant, and I'm also supplying medical product. I've diversified my business and I'm supplying medical products into Africa and Africa at large. I've diversified to the extent that I also supply furniture, bakery equipment, anything to do with that, but also obviously in the fashion and clothing industry. I'm supplying Africa with that as well. Other business achievements that I've recently been appointed as the Vice Chairperson of Women in Business at Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm very humbled, very honored, and I just want to make an impact and do the absolute most that I can. It's all about empowering women in business, and I'm all for empowering women in general. I am a former educator, and I'm also a professional Latin American and ballroom dancer. I don't compete anymore, unfortunately, due to my health condition, but I am still involved in adjudicating in competitions and training. Okay, my business is called Styled by Lenore, and that came as a result of being in the dancing world. Growing up, I was a dancer and then eventually became a professional dancer and had my own dancing studio. And with that came the grooming of all the dancers, and that's where the fashion and the styling came into being. For me, honestly speaking, the greatest achievement in my business is having a client and styling them from head to toe and seeing them transform at the end. People underestimate the value and power of looking good, of feeling good, and they really don't value styling. I mean, we could have all the pieces, all the fashion pieces on our bodies, but how you put it together is absolutely important. I always say I could take a black paper bag and put it on you and make it look fabulous. It's how you put something together. So honestly, for me, there have been many things that my company has done, but the greatest reward for me is seeing a happy and more confident client at the end of it. What has motivated me the most, I have to be honest, are my children and my husband. With the condition that I have called fibromyalgia, I was at a point where I was in bed. I was in a wheelchair and I was in bed, and I had one of my children ask me while I was in hospital, "Mom, are you going to die?" And from that day forward, I vowed, pain or no pain, I would make an effort every morning. I would get up, I would style my hair, I would put on some makeup. On the days that I was able to wear a heel, because I've been told by my surgeons that I'm not allowed to wear heels, but I dislocate anyway, so I may as well dislocate in style, you know? So they were the main force and the main motivating factor to me getting up, picking myself up, getting the therapy that I needed to get back onto my feet, to become stronger. And they are my everything, and in everything that I do, I want them to be proud first and foremost. Challenges in the business world, especially now diversifying the way that I am, not just doing the fashion and the styling, but now also trying to get product, medical product, furniture, etc. into Africa. Number one is finance. Finance is always going to be a challenge. And then also finding the correct partners and suppliers to collaborate with. You know, people promise you the world, but until stuff is signed and until finances are exchanged, that's quite difficult at the moment. However, I seem to be on the correct path, so I'm just persevering. One more thing which I find huge, women don't support each other. Let me not generalize and say women in general, but in my experience, that's been one of my greatest challenges. We speak about women empowerment and empowering each other and uplifting each other. It's good to talk the talk, but you need to walk the walk also. And that's not happening in my situation. It hasn't been happening for me. And I find that my male counterparts, honestly speaking, have been there to support me. I just wish that we would be, when we say that we are supporting each other as women, if we can just stick to it and truly support each other, you know, uplift each other, empower each other. Don't feel afraid or intimidated when you see somebody coming up. Be excited for them, pat them on the back, well done, spread the news, because something's in line for you as well. You know, that selfish mentality, let's not have. Let's be about empowering each other. Other advice that I would give to women following in my path is be persistent. Be confident even when you don't feel confident. Be confident, dig deep and remain confident. And don't be scared to change. Don't be scared to diversify. You think you don't know something until you try it. And that's why life is a learning experience. Do we ever stop learning? No. So for me, it's take up new challenges. A challenge is a challenge. And if you don't, I don't want to use the word fail because I don't believe in failure. I always say not achieving what you want to is a learning experience. It's a learning curve and it's what you take from there. So there's no such thing as failure in my books. What did you learn from the experience? And move on. The goals that I've set for myself for the future, first and foremost, I want to be happy. That's absolutely critical to me. You have to be happy in what you do. You cannot do something and be miserable because there's no love, there's no passion that goes with it. I'd love to succeed and make a name for myself in Africa and Africa at large. When people hear of Styled by Lenore or they hear Lenore, they must know that they're getting good service, they're getting quality, and that's what I would like for myself. On the family side, I'd just like my children to be happy, holistic kids, well-rounded kids. You know, in life it's so important to be happy in everything that you do, and you could be the most successful person and be miserable. So one needs to strike that balance. And in terms of my fashion and the personal styling that I do, I just love to make that grow and to touch people's lives even more. My family life and what I do to relax. I'm a busybody. I'm always doing something. The brain is constantly overworking. But I love sitting with the kids around the table and discussing stories, them telling me about what they've done for the day, making jokes about. I love to laugh. I love to laugh, and I find with my health condition, you know, I can become a very anxious person, a very uptight person. So laughter for me is the best medicine. I just love engaging with my children, with my husband. That for me is relaxing. I know it may seem simple to some people, but that brings me absolutely pure joy, and that's what I do to relax, being with my family. Concluding comments that I would like to make, very short, very simple. We are blessed to be a blessing. I firmly believe that in life, we are blessed. God blesses us to be a blessing to others, to assist others, to empower others, to uplift others, to make others feel good about themselves. And you'll be surprised how all that just comes flowing back to you in multitudes. So if there was anything that I could say to anybody, don't waste your breath, don't waste your time in hating on somebody or admiring what somebody else has or how successful somebody else has. Be content in you, in your space, in your blessings, and rather concentrate on how you can be of assistance and be a blessing to somebody else.